Want to close your home purchase or refinance faster? Contact me, David Delbonis, at 401-487-7379, President Precision Home Lending. Trust the experts and we'll make your loan experience amazing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Fans Only Sports Network's live coverage of Division II hockey here in the state of Rhode Island. Game 3 of the quarterfinals matchup here in Division II hockey tonight between the Lincoln Lions and the Ponaganset Chieftains right here on Fans Only Sports Network. I am your play-by-play commentator, Chris Hitu, bringing you throughout every shot on goal, every save, every minute of every second of every sequence. I'm here to bring you throughout all the matchup tonight. We just got through with the starting lineup, so now we're going to turn it over to the flag for the playing of our national anthem.
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
And just moments away from the opening puck drop here. Once again, between the Lincoln Lions and the Ponaganset Chieftains right here from the 146 Rhode Island Sports Center here in North Smithfield, Rhode Island. And both teams have hit center ice. That means we're all set and ready to go. From 146A, we are underway here in the Division II playoffs quarterfinal. Do or die. Lincoln took game 1 of the series last weekend on Friday night by a final score of 5-0. Then we went over to Levy Ice Rink over in Burrville, Rhode Island, home of the Ponaganset Chieftains. The Chieftains managed to really replicate that type of production. -2 goals, a shutout, 3-0 win for the Chieftains. A shot on net right there, bouncing off to the left side. So tonight, the series tied up at 1 apiece. Whoever wins will move on to the state semifinals. Through center ice. It's taken across there by the 29 of Jake Steinkamp. Lions trying to move this back through to center. Steinkamp, he'll dump it back the other way. And taking it out there is Ian Popovich. Popovich with it again. And he'll lead the pass in front of his own bench. And taken at center that time by Thomas Millette, who will dump it in. Around the backside of the cage. Hard hit up against the boards. And once again, Popovich trying to move the puck in front of the net that time was Mason Caramente. Back to the near side. Navigating through center. And dumped back in. Carson Tillinson up through center. It's poked back the other way there by Thomas Millette. And now taking it across is Caramente. Up against the boards. Poked right in front of the net. Taken away again by Popovich. Being pressured as he gets it off cleanly that time to Derek Wood. Wood with the leading pass that time to Nicholas Pelosi. And it's taken away from Pelosi. Dumped to the near side that time for Brennan Printer. at center. Oh, a hard collision there. An open ice hit from both sides, and they're still in play. And we'll finally get a stoppage as the puck is stopped right in front of the net. Starters in net tonight for goaltenders, each wearing the number 1 on their jersey. James Kavanaugh for the Ponaganset Chieftains and Nate Goff for the Lincoln Lions. And at the draw, this shot a little wide to the left. Behind the net that time, Wood trying to gain the advantage on top of a Chieftain. And Richard Scott will take it away. Give it up to center. At the neutral territory, Jaden Borski, dumped around the near side that time for Siros. Trying to lead it through center. A nice leading pass, but a little bit of a collision on the throw. And now dumped in, right behind the cage of Goff. Lions have had trouble with this Chieftains forecheck at center. And poked away again. Taking it across, deflected there by the defenders as that time Austin Armarl tried to take a chance on net. Now on the backside, flipping it to the near, that time for Jake Kai. Kai has it tipped away and brought back up to center for Domino Costa. This one coming at Kavanaugh, and he'll stop the play with 12:01 to go here in the first period of action. A lot of great matchups on Fans Only Sports Network this past weekend. We're very fortunate to have been able to do the state quarterfinals this season. And of course, all quarterfinals matchups are free on the Fans Only Sports YouTube. So just go to Fans Only Sports Network on YouTube and you can catch any of the matchups from this weekend. And of course, the ones going on right now. We got a good one going on over in Woonsocket as Prout and Cumberland fight in Game 3 of the quarterfinals for Division I to see which team will head to the semifinals. Here's a good look for Flory. It's taken away that time. A great poke check from Carter Tilson. And dumped to center ice. This one taken up by Nicholas Pelosi. Trying to gain the middle lane. Pelosi, wrister, and a save from Kavanaugh. We'll get a word from tonight's game sponsors. Quarterfinal matchups on Fans Only Sports Network are brought to you in part by Ray's Hockey Shop in Smithfield, RI. Specializing in uniforms and custom team apparel, all done in-house. Call 401-231-1995 or go to ray@rayshockey.com for all your hockey needs. Premier Homes Realty in Cranston, Rhode Island. Stephanie Sosha is a broker, has been in the business for 20 years, an owner and a certified real estate appraisal. Spanish speaking and covers Massachusetts as well. Give her a call at 401-742-8971 for more information. And then finally by RR Elite Recruits. Go to rreliterecruits.com and get access to over 3,000 schools and 60,000 coaches in NCAA sports, including club hockey and prep academy coaches to the list. Fill an athlete submission form today at rreliterecruits.com. This one, a wrister hitting off the backboard and back to the near side. Over to center now. Adamo Alfieri. Ooh, a hard check there that time off the 19 of Austin Amaral. Nice open ice hit. However, we get a whistle to call the play dead. With 10:58 to go in this first period. Both teams applying some solid attacks. Ponaganset with a little bit of an advantage in terms of how they've been able to move the puck. However, Lincoln finally starting to find its stride here in the middle part of this first period of action. And of course, a packed house tonight from either side. A great turnout. We definitely want to see which side can really bring more energy tonight. Left side, right side, let's see. And officials talking things over currently. Still waiting for the official call on the floor. And we'll finally get back into the action. Back underway. At the top shelf for Siros. Back of the net! Net shot, score! Ponaganset takes the lead first. Credit of the goal that time to Riley Siros, taking the shot from the blue line. And the Chieftains on the road take a 1-0 lead to start things off tonight. It was just a great shot from the top shelf of the blue line. And it got right underneath Goff. And the Chieftains strike first here in Game 3 of the state quarterfinals for Division II. We saw potential brewing as the Chieftains really were applying strong forechecks right out of the gate. And they're going to try it again as they dump it into the zone. Swiftly dumped back to center that time for Jake Kai, right into the glove of Kavanaugh. And he'll save that right out of the gate. The shot would have been wide regardless. But a chance taken, and Kavanaugh will make a great extension for the save. So we'll face off on that left-hand face-off dot. And kicked away to the near side. So that time it was the 10 of Domino Costa for Lincoln at center. Glove down and brought down to the floor by Will Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh trying to set up Richard Scott in the slot. It's taken behind there by Austin Kennedy. Kennedy to the top shelf for Siros. Siros, who had the goal earlier, cuts it to the inside. Taking around the backside of the cage, trying to lead it up front. And the man wasn't there that time as it was Kennedy. Ooh, a little to the left of Goff. It'll go to that far side board. Trapped in again by the Chieftains, and Goff will glove it down on the floor and stop things with 10:07 to go in the first. Emotions are high for either side tonight. You can see just a glimpse of what's on that left-hand side there of your screen. Huge turnout from both schools and families alike. It's just a great sign of support in the hockey community, and it's something we love to see every single year at the blue line. Chieftains weren't sure if that were onside, and they do clear it as they dump it back in. Borski will take it on the back end. Borski getting poked a whole bunch, nearly boxed out. He's still in possession, taken away by Nelson. Dumped into the Chieftain side of the ice. And hitting the protective netting as he tried to wrap it around the near side boards, and will go out of play with 9:39 to go here in the first period of action. But like we said earlier, Lions here on their home ice on Friday night defeated the Chieftains by a score of 5-0. 3-0 was the score in Game 2. A great lead for Jake Rabello. Back of the net, score! The Chieftains had on the second goal of the first period. Jack Rabello puts up goal number 2 for Ponaganset. And the Chieftains make it 2-0 with 9.5 to go in the first period. It was definitely not what we thought would be the case to open things up. Still a lot of time to play, but the Lions now find themselves trailing in the early minutes of the first. And we'll come back to center ice for the faceoff. Push to the far end. And it's dumped in. On the back end that time, Stefan Varesco. It's trapped at the blue line and dumped in. Another one stopped. Trying to keep it in is Lincoln, and Ponaganset will take it up. Steinkamp sends it right off Goff's pad, trying to get it off the rebound. That was nearly costly for Goff, but the Chieftains keep it in the zone. Keeping it away is Jack Rabello, who had the goal earlier, and now Jaden Borski. Borski in front of the slot, a dangerous positioning there. He finds Chase Hall. Hall trying to lead it for Nicholas Pelosi, and Pelosi has it swiftly taken away right in the zone, and it's brought back to center ice, and we get a whistle. And we do have a penalty. It's going to be charged against the Lions. It's the 15 of Nicholas Pelosi. He's sent to the box for 2 minutes for roughing. So to make matters worse for the Lions, who already trail by a score of 2-0, they're going to be down a man, and the Chieftains have a chance to go up by another. With the extra man. That one ricocheting high in the air off of the 77 of Alex Wildgoose. Trying to bring it right in front of the net is Caramente. On Goff, it's pushed to the near side. Wildgoose gets it to Varesco at the top. Sends it down in the middle of the slot. Trying to get there was Printer. It's pushed back to the blue line and kept on side. A little wide of the net that time. And Goff finally gets on top of it and will stop play. And some late extracurriculars as the play ended. Motion's really high here. As you can see, there's a lot of trash talking going on here. Last time I covered the Chieftains, that was way back in December during the tournament. I believe that was against the Burrillville Broncos potentially. I forget which team it was exactly, but we're going to have another penalty, and it's going to go against Ponaganset. And that's going to be the 11 of Mason Caramente, so not sure if we're going to have 5 men or 4 men on the ice, but likely going to be 4 men on the ice, 4-on-4 for both sides. Still trying to get everything sorted away. This has been the second time in this period alone that we've had to have the officials sort things out with both benches and themselves. So it will be 4-on-4 hockey. 1:36 left on the first penalty against Lincoln. So they will get themselves a chance with 5-on-4 after their penalty expires. But a penalty charge to the Chieftains, once again, roughing for both sides, has resulted in penalty time. And officials still figuring things out. .8:18 to go in the first. And we're back in action. 4-on-4. This one wide to the right as it came off of a strong wrister from the three of Derek Wood. This one coming down in the middle, wide again that time off of Tillison. On the near side. It's wrapped around the back end and pushed back to center. Borski brings it across the blue line onside. Borski rifles one at Kavanaugh. Another one coming down. Stopped in front. Another one on Kavanaugh. And he does stop the puck somehow. We heard the impact. Didn't really see the direction as to which it went. But 1:02 remaining on the first penalty. And 1:26 on the second. With 7:44 to go here in the first period. 2-0. Chieftains lead the Lions here in Game 3 of the quarterfinal series in Division 2. And as that puck hits the floor, it's pushed back to center. Open lane here for Austin Kenny, and wrap around back of the net, score! Chieftains make it 3-0. Austin Keeney makes it 3-0. Off of a wraparound 360. That was a breakaway. The defender came in right behind him, but he somehow managed to regain the footing and spin around. Lincoln going to call itself a timeout as they trail 3-0 here in the middle of the first period. We'll take ourselves a commercial break and be right back for more hockey action in this quarterfinals matchup here on Fans Only Sports Network.
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Dustin Myers, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Comes in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post.
And we're back after the timeout by Lincoln. A much needed timeout to think things over. This one sent at Goff behind the net. As that time, once again, the Chieftains came screaming down, and we get a whistle. And it looks like that net came off the mooring. So naturally, we will stop play to allow that to be fixed. So 41 seconds remaining on the first penalty against Lincoln, and 1:05 on the second against the Chieftains. And for right now, 3-0, the score mirrors the score that we saw on Saturday when Ponaganset hosted Lincoln. And right now, this is just the early minutes of the game. We're only seeing 3-0 as the score. It's definitely not what we expected coming into the matchup. Is a comeback in the works? Can Lincoln do it? Certainly they would not want their playoff hopes to be crushed in such a fashion. Still plenty of time for them. Through center, Borski. A nice open lane that time for Chase Hall, but it was a little behind. Taken away on the end board by Voruski. He gets pushed to the floor that time. And still in play. This one dumped to center. Taken off by Baumann. Gunnar Baumann. Up to center. It's intercepted that time by Hall as he backhands it in, and Lincoln's back to full strength for the next 20 seconds. On the near side, Chieftains still just trying to kill some time. They do clear it back to center, and it's sent back the other way. Carter Tilson trying to play keep away from Riley Nelson. Chieftains doing a whole lot of great forecheck abilities as they manage to kill off their own penalty. Both teams back to full strength as Amaral takes it. And dumped to center that time by Nelson. Riley Nelson has Printer to his right, trying to shadow it behind Goff as it lazily floats there. Printer all the way back to the top of the shelf for Amaral. Amaral sends this one off of Goff in the protective netting. I'll stop play. Just about 5:50 to go. 5:49 to be exact here in the first period. We didn't expect the Chieftains to have this much of a cushion so far. Still plenty of time for Lincoln to come back in it. On the boards. No winger on that right side for Ponaganset, fortunately, for the Lions. And it's dumped around the near side boards that time for the 29 of Jack Fisk. And taken away by Ponaganset. Great movement to keep it onside. That time for the 21 of Scott. Oh, nearly right there in the back. And the refs will call the play dead. More extracurriculars. And now we got fighting going on. The fisticuffs have come off. For just a moment, the referees were able to break it up pretty quickly. There's a whole lot of trash talk going on tonight. Last time we saw the Chieftains play at that winter tournament in Burrillville, they were assessed 10 penalties in one game, one of them leading to an ejection. So the Chieftains are definitely a scruffy bunch. A rowdy bunch, if you may, but officials talking things over in front of the press box as we're still trying to sort out the penalties that have been enforced in this one and what will become as the repercussion. Quarterfinal matchups on Fans Only Sports Network are brought to you in part by Ray's Hockey Shop in Smithfield, Rhode Island, specializing in uniforms and custom team apparel, all done in-house in Smithfield. Call 401-231-1995 or go to ray@rayshockey.com for all your hockey needs. Premier Homes Realty in Cranston, Rhode Island. Stephanie Socia has been in the business for 20 years. Broker, owner, also a certified real estate appraiser. Spanish speaking and covers Massachusetts properties as well. Any questions? Call 401-742-8971. And then by RR Elite Recruits. Go to rreliterecruits.com and get access to 3,000 schools and 60,000 coaches across NCAA sports. Also additionally adding club hockey and prep academy coaches to the list. Fill out an athlete submission form today at rreliterecruits.com. Still discussing all of the details with both coaching staffs. As we're trying to get the issue resolved. We'll step aside for just a moment. Score 3-0 as the Chieftains lead the Lincoln Lions here in Game 3 of the state quarterfinals.
The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Ducks in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Ducks in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
The ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone,
And welcome back. A lot of discussion from our officials as multiple players have ended up in the box. The 3 of the Lions, Derek Wood, in there. And then we've got 11, which is Mason Caramente, the 13 of Austin Kenny, and then the 2 of Riley Nelson in the box for Ponaganset. So a party in the box for the Chieftains, and the Lions have themselves a lone Lion sitting in there. And we still have 5 men on the ice. Taking a look at the playoff matchup real quick for Division II. Portsmouth had a 2-0 series sweep, a 3-1 victory, and a 4-3 victory over North Smithfield Northmen to be the host of the Narragansett-Chariho Co-op as they swept South Kingston as the 6th seed, 8-3 the first game, 3-2 the second. Rogers defeating Cranston West in 2 games, 5-2 the first score, 6-0 the second. So the winner of the Lincoln Ponaganset will go and face Rogers, the number 2 seed. And now for the face-off. We're finally back in the action after nearly 10 to 15 minutes of delay. And behind the back of the net, taken away that time by Borski. Borski around the back that time. And trying to keep it away from the net. That was dangerous positioning from the defenders. Right in front for Rebello, and Lions there to defend, and it's wrapped around on the near side for Hall. Hall checked into the boards. Chieftains' defense, or offense in this case, off their forecheck has just been extremely relentless throughout. This one back to center. As it's taken away that time by Flory. And you can hear the Lincoln chants going off now as Tilson gets it over to Borski. Borski way too far of a lead, and we get our first icing call of the game tonight with 4:39 to go. So once again, this is a big, big game tonight, as this will determine the final seed in the state semifinals for Division II. The winner will go on to face Rogers, as Portsmouth hosts the Narragansett-Chariho Co-op. Once again, officials still talking things over. Not really sure what's going on in terms of organization tonight, but we're back in the action. Lincoln winning the face-off, but it's dumped back in off the Chieftains forecheck. Taken off that time by Printer. Brennan Printer backhands it back to Printer. It's going to be stopped there by Varesco and pushed back to center off of a poke. Varesco sends it right behind the cage of Goff. A little dump and go action. Backhanded and stopped right there by Lincoln. Trying to get the setup in front, and that time Printer whiffed on the one-timer. And here come the Lions. And back the other way. And a nice lead for Wild Goose. Wild Goose shuffles this one off the backboard as Borski dumps it to the near side, far. And now Ballman sends this one off of Goff into the corner. Around the back end. Now for Printer. Printer behind the cage, wrapped around to the near side. And Lincoln will feed it back to center ice as they dump it in. Nice check there on the back end. Losing his footing that time was Pelosi. And this one sent all the way down by the Chieftains. We got ourselves another icing with 3:20 to go. This game tipped off, or at least puck dropped at around 7:15. And it's been a very, very drawn-out first period. There's been a lot of disciplinary action, a lot of additional players to the box. This one comes back to center ice as the Chieftains continue this strong attack. Tillison knocked to the floor in the corner, and we got ourselves a whistle. And this one looks like it's going to go against Ponaganset. Riley Nelson. He's going to hit the penalty box too. So now we've got 4 Chieftains in the penalty box alone. And this penalty looks like it will actually be assessed, potentially. We're still waiting for that official word. A whole lot of explanation tonight in terms of why each penalty has just been assessed throughout. So it's going to be a 5-minute major. So it's a 5-minute major against the Chieftains. This will reduce them down to 4 skaters on the floor. And it looks like Nelson's getting ejected. So Riley Nelson has been ejected from the game for disciplinary measures. There's just been a whole lot of unsportsmanlike conduct throughout this one. A lot of fighting, a lot of fisticuffs coming off, and the referees need to get this game under control. And Riley Nelson, I guess, is going to be an example to that. So this is prime positioning for the Lions to get back into it, as they have 5 minutes on the board in their favor to get a goal, potentially before the end of this first. Taking it through center. Borski. Jaden Borski. Taking it around the backside of the cage, and a hard hit from Thomas Millette in the corner. Borski trying to move the puck free. The Chieftains move it over to the near side as it's met there by Chase Hall of Lincoln. At the top shelf, that time for Costa. Costa with a good feed. Back to the top shelf for Borski. Now down to Kai. Jake Kai right into Kavanaugh's stomach. 4:18 to go on the power play. Of course, this penalty will carry over into that second period. At the far end, Borski stops at the blue line. Kai has it taken away from Borski stops at the blue line. Kai has it taken away from Amaral, but Kai able to play some keep away. Kai, Amaral, he'll clear this perfectly for Ponaganset. Goff allowing Borski to come and take it, and he gives it up to Jake Kai. Kai will dump it in, and unwise pass there as the Chieftains dump it away again. Under 2 minutes in the first. Trying to backtrack it is Tyler Almeida. Almeida trying to come in from that right wing side, and the setup was there in the slot, shot off. As that time Costa sent it over the top of the net, and the Chieftains clear it again. Time running out on the first. Of course, time also running out on the major. Past the blue line. Kai giving it off that time to Hall. Hall with the lead over to Pelosi. That shot wide to the right. Trying to set it up again. Getting tied up are the Lions. Trying to get it in front of the nets. They continue to get shut down by the strong defense. Another one coming off of the defender on the right side. Backhanded. That time, back of the net, score! Lincoln finally gets on the board. Some newfound momentum as the 17 of Chase Hall finally breaks down that zero, that goose egg, and the Lions make it 3-1. With just about a minute to go here in the first period. This could make things a whole lot more interesting because once again, 2:54 left on this penalty. It's a major, so they will not lose the power play until that penalty expires. So the Lions have a strong opportunity to climb back into this one. The momentum has shifted potentially, and we'll see how the Chieftains respond to this. At center, Michael DiStefano cuts it back to the near side. That time intended for Almeida. Almeida pushing a man off as he dumps it in. A dump and go set up for Adamo Alferi. Alferi trying to box check to poke the puck free away from Almara. And a chance right in front of the slot. One coming in, and Ponaganset manages to clear this one effectively. With the remaining seconds ticking off, Lions couldn't get any extension on the puck as it was in the center lane slot. And the Chieftains defense working effectively to clear this one. It's kept at the neutral ice. Some good footwork there by Kenny as he dumps it in. Keeney, and now on the far end, DiStefano. Time expiring with under 2 minutes now on the major. And as the Lions bring it across the blue line, one chance. They're getting pushed off, and that will do it for the first period of action. It's been a very long and dramatic first period, but after one, your score 3-1 here in Game 3, the deciding game of the state quarterfinals. Here in Division 2, the Ponaganset Chieftains lead the Lincoln Lions on the road by a score of 3-1. We'll be back in just a moment for the start of the second period.
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Dumps in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
in, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Comes in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is it!
And welcome back for the start of the second period. Ponaganset leading Lincoln by a score of 3-1 as Lincoln takes the face-off with under minute 45 on the major. That was assessed to Ponaganset. So the Lions, a little bit of a mislead that time for Borski as he leaves it behind that time for Costa. This one poked away. Hard hit at center as Borski's on the floor. And he gets back up slowly, but he's able to get to his feet. Borski trying to play off. Trying to cut it in there. Ooh, a hard shot off of Kavanaugh. Whole lot of falling in front. Arms up, and we finally get the penalty. That time Kai tried to wind up for the shot on net. We'll see who the penalty is going to be assessed against. And it looks like it's going to be Ponaganset who's going to get charged the penalty. The only 109 remaining on the major. And we're going to see who's going to be faulted here. So an interference call on the 5 of Gunnar Ballman. So now we have 5 Chieftains in the penalty box. 5 players off the roster in this penalty box. We'll definitely have a view of that in just a moment. And puck shuffled into the zone for Lincoln. At the top shelf that time, Borski off of Kavanaugh on the far side. Tillison downhill for Hall. Hall with the setup, oh my goodness! That whole right side was exposed as Costa saw Kavanaugh fall to the floor. He would have had himself a goal if that puck didn't go too high. Just had a chance. As you can see right there, 5 Chieftains all in the penalty box there. Each being assessed different penalties, most of them for roughing, fighting, interference has been the last call. 1 to 5 you can see there. Just a very crazy number of guys I've seen in the penalty box. It's something I've never seen in a game I've called before. Officials still talking things over, and it looks like, again, some jokesters out there, a little bit of comedy on the floor. I don't know what's happening exactly, but officials just talking things over once again. So a minute 45 and 49 seconds on the major, 1:45 on the minor. This one dumped all the way down. As Tillison will be the first to meet it. Tillison to center for Hall. Hall winds up off of Kavanaugh in that far corner, and the Chieftains dump it away again. So it'll be 5-on-3 for the next 25 seconds as the major is about to expire. And this one rifled all the way downhill as there's a lot of room for the Lions. And a little bit of a move there. Chieftains, great look for Borski. Borski trying to get in front of Kavanaugh. A lead right in front. Wind up for Tillison. Off of Kavanaugh again. Another one coming down. Finds the back of the net. Lincoln scores! Lincoln scores again! The 10 of Domino Costa gives Lincoln a cut into this lead that the Chieftains have been boasting since the start of the first. Score reduced now to 3-2. As they have been down 3-0, Lincoln has climbed right back into this one and is really making this a thrilling thrilling game 3 of a deciding factor here in the state quarterfinals. My goodness. Best of 3. The first 2 games were both shutouts. This one has just been a great back and forth by each team. So we're still waiting on word. They haven't posted the goal just yet. We have already posted the goal is good. We're still waiting for the officials to determine what has happened. And it looks like our scorekeeper marked the score wrong, so they're adjusting it. The goal is good. The goal will stand. Score now sits at 3-2. Ponaganset still leads Lincoln. Once again, officials talking things over. We'll step aside for a brief moment. Score 3-2 here in the middle of the second.
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
And we're back as we've finally been able to figure things out on the ice. Ponaganset being only a few miles south of where I reside from in North Smithfield. Backwoods indeed. I can call myself a backwoods kid just as much as these kids are. And of course Lincoln too. Very rural suburban area. Both suburban teams playing in tonight's game, and it's just been a great back and forth. Great competitive nature from both sides. It's just been an excellent turnout. Great competition throughout. Borski taking it again for Lincoln. This one off the skates that time of Millette in that far end corner. Taken around the backside, right in front. Oh my goodness, nearly a chance again in the slot. And Kavanaugh reaches out and extends. Arms up. Do we have another penalty coming? So both teams back to full strength at this point. And we do. This time, it's the 49 of Troy Jerby. He hits the box now. And we got 2 minutes against Ponaganset again. Another power play for Lincoln. Lincoln has lucked out tonight with a lot of penalties being charged against Ponaganset. The Chieftains are doing themselves no favors in terms of allowing the Lions the extra man. This one poked into the near side corner. And a large uproar from that Lions crowd on the backboard. Trying to play some takeaway, leading it to the slot. Ooh, a little wide of the left of the net. Taken and given up to Borski. Borski, it's underneath. Here comes the 9 of Jack Rabello. He already has a goal in this one. Great defensive effort that time as the 16 of Carter Tilson stopped the play from occurring. And no arms up as that could have been a trip. But the referees will look away on that one. Ballman losing control. He'll give it off that time. And a whistle. Chieftains were offside. And a little more trash talk coming between the Lions and Chieftains. Referees trying to do their diligence in terms of keeping these kids from going at it. Both teams really leaving everything out on the ice tonight. And here come the Lions again. Derek Wood sends this one right in the glove of Kavanaugh, and that'll stop play immediately. 1:03 remaining on the minor. That was assessed earlier. And 11:26 to go here in the second period. So we'll face off on the left-hand side. Puck pushed to the far board, behind the back, and dumped the other way. Trying to chase it down, now is Almeida. Almeida being met that time by Kavanaugh. And dumped to center. Going the other way that time is Amaral. Amaral dumps it around the near side as he had Wood on his tail. And at the blue line, Chieftains dump it all the way at Goff. And Goff will glove that one up quickly to stop the play. 32 seconds left on the power play as the Lions' attack has really been slow to a halt as the Chieftains have somehow, but I shouldn't say somehow, they've done exactly what they needed to do to adjust to the penalty as of thus far. Just got to hold on for a little bit longer as Kinney, it's dumped to center, and now here comes Hall. Chase Hall tries to find the open lane on Kavanaugh. Back in the net, score! Lincoln's tied the game! Lincoln's tied the game! The Lions have come back from a 3-0 deficit to tie it at 3-all as Domino Costa puts up his second goal of the game to bring the Lions to a tie with the Chieftains. Wow. Wow. That is the only words I can say right now. I am speechless. Speechless by what I'm witnessing tonight. Chieftains take it right off the face-off, trying to answer back quickly. Wild Goose trying to feed it right in front of Goff. Lions push it away to the near side board. On the back end, poked away, a great job that time by Hall, and it's sent all the way back down. The arm is up as it slows down in front of Kavanaugh in time for the 24 of Riley Siros. Behind the net, Siros. To the neutral zone for a Wild Goose, and now Borski. Borski trying to play ahead. Borski deflected off of Kavanaugh, wrapped around on the near side. Goaltending has now officially been taken off the board. Goff's really stepped it up, but the Lions, their forecheck has just been screaming on all cylinders ever since these power plays. And they got to give thanks to 3 straight power play goals. Taken off behind the blue line that time for Tilson. Tilson, a nice feed that time for DiStefano. And poked away. Wild Goose, now Amaral. Poked back to center. Chieftains trying to get set. Cuts to the inside is Siros. Siros wide to the right of the net. Almeida pushed off the mark as Woods there. And a nice lead for DiStefano. Michael DiStefano off the glove of Kavanaugh. Another lead in front in the slot, trying to backhand it. And Kavanaugh makes a tough save. Wow. What a shot on goal that time. Lincoln's been adding the pressure on. The Chieftains have had the opportunities to get set, but the Lions have 180'd from the team that we saw start off this game in the first period. They're making this quite an interesting game in and of itself. The story of this game is just one to remember for the ages, as both teams are fighting just to get to the state semifinals. Once again, the winner of this one will go on to face the number 2 seed Rogers, as Portsmouth, the number 1 seed, is hosting the 6th seed of Charahoe Narragansett Co-op. And that time Goff will make a save on a high shot. .8:43 to go in the second. The score 3-all. Lions battle back from 3-0 to tie things up, as they scored with about under 10 and a half. Behind the cage of Goff, it's wrapped around the near side board, and it's trapped and dumped back in that time. Off to the far end, Jerby. Ooh, a hard hit there, as Jerby was the one to dump it in. A cut back the opposite way for Costa. The lead that time for Tilson. Tilson, it's poked away from him. Great poke check that time from Wild Goose. Around the backside of the net. And that time Costa tried to wind up on the 180. And that time a lead over to Brennan Printer. Printer wide to the right of the net. And on that far end. And we get a whistle to stop play. And we got a player down on the floor. Didn't see the hit. Score all tied up at 3 as trainers are attending to an injured player on the floor. We'll step aside for a moment and be back for this Game 3 of the state quarterfinals in Division II right here on Fans Only Sports Network.
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Dumps in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
So welcome back following the brief timeout. Lincoln being charged a penalty as the 16 that time of Carter Tilson is in the box. So the Chieftains will finally get themselves a chance on the power play to get a goal back and retake the lead. At the top shelf, Bauman stumped across the blue line. The Lions dump it away and clear it. Pass Bauman into his own zone. Bauman. Large crowd of boos coming from Lincoln. This one's dumped up to Jake Steinkamp. Steinkamp playing some keep away. A good lead that time for Rebello. It's poked away by the Lions. That was Borski, but they keep it onside. Millette, back of the net, score! The Chieftains retake the lead. Thomas Millette breaks through on the scoreboard for the first time for the Chieftains since the first period. And they make this game now 4-3 with a power play goal. A great lamplighter for them as they finally find a way to break back in. And the face-off through center. Here comes Mason Caramente right at Goff. This one scampers right there. Couldn't as he juggled the puck around a bit. Ooh, this one off to the right side as the whole right was exposed. On over to Bauman. Bauman wide of the net. Popovich clears it back to center for Lincoln. And it's dumped back in by Ponaganset. Tilson to the top shelf for Hall. And it's taken away from Hall as it was a little too far. Varesco through center. Steven Varesco off of Goff. It's still in play. And pushed off by Costa. And stopped at the blue line before it crossed to center. Costa, a nice lead. And dumped in by Jake Kai. On the near side, Costa sends it back in. And pushed in front. Off the scorer's box. Wild Goose trying to play with it. And we get a whistle. And at center, Chieftains off the dump it right under Goff from the neutral ice, and Ponaganset adds goal number 5. Cameron Keeney, all the way from center. It somehow found its way underneath the pad of Nate Goff. With 6:20 to go in the second, Lincoln already used its timeout. And they're going to just have to adjust come the third period. In between the second and third. Taking it up. Another chance for Ponaganset, and this one goes out of play with 6:08 to go. And the face-off on the left-hand side. Pushed off the back end that time as Borski's trying to play some keep away. Back to center. Borski crossing the blue line onside cleanly. Nice movement around there, trying to find the back door. There was a whole left side exposed, and the Lions couldn't capitalize. This puck pushed back to neutral ice as Almeida takes it. It's poked away again that time from Nick Flory. And the Chieftains taken away by Ethan Smith. Smith. Ooh, a hard hit right out of the gate there from Jerby. And in the corner. Still trying to push the puck loose, and a Lions stick broke. A delayed penalty, and we get the call. This one's going to go against the Chieftains, and it looks like it's going to be against the man who scored the goal, the 10 of Thomas Millette. And a slash going to be called against the Chieftains. So it's a must-needed break for the Lions, as the momentum was completely on their side as they trailed 3-0. They climbed back into the game to make it 3-3. And then 2 goals out of nowhere from the Chieftains make it 5-3 here in the late minutes of the second. Dumped back into the zone for Lincoln on the power play. To the left wing side. This one wide of the net to the right. And that time Kai couldn't stop it, so the Lions have to get back on side. And Borski being pushed off. And this one sent back to the near side. Chieftains dump it forward, and they send it all the way back down, off the clear. That time Scott being pushed into the boards. The Lions can't seem to break the puck free as finally Costa gets it, and we're going to get another penalty. It's going to go against Lincoln for a cross-check by the looks of it. So the Chieftains get to draw a 4-on-4 play, as this time it's going to be the 16 of Carter Tilson. Last time he was pushed to the penalty box, the Chieftains managed to get a goal out of it. So 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute and 21 seconds, and then following that, we'll have a Chieftains power play for the remaining seconds of the penalty charged against Lincoln. 4:40 to go in the second. Lincoln trails 5-3 to Ponaganset. And off the draw, Almeida. Almeida dumps it all the way down, icing the call on the floor. Quarterfinal matchups on Fans Only Sports Network are brought to you in part by Ray's Hockey Shop in Smithfield, Rhode Island. Specializing in uniforms and custom team apparel, all done in-house in Smithfield. Call 401-231-1995 or go to ray@rayshockey.com for all your hockey needs. By Premier Homes Realty in Cranston, Rhode Island. Stephanie Socia has been in the business for 20 years, broker, owner, and a certified real estate appraiser. Spanish-speaking and deals with Massachusetts properties as well. Call 401-742-8971 for more information. And then by our Elite Recruits. Go to rreliterecruits.com and get access to 3,000 schools and 60,000 coaches across NCAA sports. We have added club hockey and prep academy coaches to the list as well. Fill an athlete submission form today at rreliterecruits.com. Back into the matchup, right in front of the Ponaganset Chieftains side of the ice that time. The shot off of Almeida, blocked by the defender. Almeida dumps it behind the back, and the Chieftains clear it all the way down to the Lincoln side of the floor as they get themselves a line change. Penalty about to expire. The Chieftains will get a man back shortly with just under 25 seconds to go on their power play. And on the blue line, it's dumped in that time by Derek Wood. Back to the far angle for Vorowski. And it's center. A lead that time for Keeney. Behind the net, right in front of Goff. And the Lions D pushes it over for Wood. Wood intercepted by Wild Goose as the Chieftains are back to full strength. They'll dump it in. 30 seconds on the power play for Ponaganset, and a chance to make it another 3-goal lead. Taken off by Jerby. Troy Jerby. And offsides, the call without a doubt, as Jack Rebello moved across way too soon. Now only 19 seconds remain on this power play. At center, brought up by Amaral. Around the back end that time for Popovich. Ian Popovich couldn't get it between the skates of Keeney. And taken off by DeStefano. Cutting back the opposite way, DeStefano. He'll gain it back to center as the Lions are back to full strength. Back to the near side for Jerby. Jerby, a little bit of a lead intended for Kavanaugh. And back the opposite way for Costa. Domino Costa. Costa takes it around James Kavanaugh's cage as he's pushed into the corner. At center. Be pushed back and forth. And here come the Chieftains. Kavanaugh trying to gain the advantage on top of Popovich. And Borski stopped at the blue line by Ponaganset. And backhanded into the zone by Siros with under 2 minutes to go in the second. On the back end, Siros winds up right in front of the net and too much traffic. And dumped all the way back to center. Jerby. He'll dump it in. In the corner, now coming to the near corner. Right in front of Goff, and a huge gasp from the Ponaganset side of things. So they thought they had themselves a chance. Here's another one coming. Goff will make the save off of Millet's shot from the blue line with 1:10 to go in the second. On the near side. And sent back to the slot. Pushed into the corner. And cutting back to center. Here comes Jake Kai. Kai off to Hall. Hall to Kai. And the defender was right there to poke it out of the way. In the corner. Lions trying to feed it cleanly. This one off of Kavanaugh. And there was nobody there to take the rebound. Smith. That time to Costa. Costa pushed off the skates. And another one off of Kavanaugh's pads. There's the opening, and oh my goodness, Kai couldn't finish on the wrister as it's pushed into that far corner and back through the neutral zone. Tilson with the lead that time for Smith. Chieftains have it at center, and they're just going to run the period out. as Millette takes it across the blue line. He'll take one last shot off of Goff's face mask, and that'll do it for 2 periods of action. The score 5-3. Chieftains led the game at one point 3-0. Lincoln came back to tie it 3-3, but then 2 goals after, 1 power play and 1 all the way from the neutral ice right underneath Goff's pads. Gave the Chieftains a 5-3 lead. We'll step aside while that Zamboni works its magic on the floor for the final period of Game 3 of the best-of-3 series between the Ponaganset Chieftains and the Lincoln Lions. Series tied at 1. Whoever wins tonight moves on to face Rogers in the state semifinals. We'll be back to decide the winner of this one right here on Fans Only Sports Network.
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try High kick. Goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher. Shot score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
High kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
High kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
High kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
High kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
High kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
High kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected. deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First by a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First by a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First by a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
And fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
First by a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get.
Welcome back to the start of the third period as the Ponaganset Chieftains lead the Lincoln Lions by a score of 5-3 here in Game 3 of the quarterfinals. The deciding game of this one, and a quick whistle to get things restarted back at center. And as the face-off is taken, it's dumped in. Wrapped around to the near side as it's taken away by Popovich. And back to center that time for the 9 of Jake Kai. Kai trying to lead it. It comes back to center to Popovich. Popovich nearly losing possession, but he'll dump it back into the zone. Kavanaugh over those far end boards that time as the 9 of Jack Rebello gets there. And now the 29 of Steinkamp trying to clear it to center. It'll come back to center. Kai getting tied up there with Popovich as now the 16 of Stefan Vorowski. This one off the post. Still in play. At center, the Chieftains will dump it back in. And rifle back to center. At the blue line. Push back in the opposite way as Ballman will take it. And it'll be dumped in around the backside. Borski has Wild Goose on his tail, and now Printer sends it to the near side board. And caught up there, and out through center, Costa. Domino Costa across the blue line. Oh, off of Kavanaugh, who makes a great save off the pads. Ooh, that time across ice from Wood. And on the far end, it'll be trapped down by Borski, and the Lions will dump it back in. They clear it to get back on side as Millette has it. gives it off to Jerby. Jerby pushed to the floor, back to the near side. And around the backside of the cage, Millette. Good movement there for the Lions, but too many defenders stopped at the blue line. This one coming off of a Chieftain defender. Still in the zone, and it's cleared back to center. It's dumped back in. And the Lions will have to get back on side. On the opposite side of the floor, Gorski dumped across the boards that time for Pelosi. And it's pushed back to center as Costa was in the vicinity, but he couldn't bring it down in time. Here comes Kenny. Kenny with the setup lane, and it's shut down. Wow. Kavanaugh couldn't extend in time as the whole right side of the Lincoln net was exposed, and this one pushed back the other way. Here they come again. Keeney, this one wide to the right of the net. Smith has it taken away off of Ciros and off to the far end board. Taking the chance, this one off of Goff, still in play. Just about 12 minutes to go here in the third. Chieftains still leading at 5-3. Lincoln needs a strong push if they want to have any chance. They're going to need to score very quickly. Ciros, the lead to center, and taken away by Scott. And now Tilson for Lincoln. It's poked back. Cameron Keeney losing the possession, but he gets it back up to the top of the zone for Amaral. And this one deflecting off. Jerby, oh my gosh, off the post again to the near side. Ciros dumps it back in. As that time it's the 44th Dwyer. In the corner, Kai. Cutting it through the middle now is Hall. Chase Hall giving it to Kai. Now backwards for Popovich. Now Costa. And it's led too far. Chieftains nearly touching the puck as it would have been too many men on the ice. But here comes Jake Kai to the far end. Costa wound up, but he lost all momentum. Keeney dumps it in for Ponaganset. He'll head to the bench quickly. Around the back end. Goff on the floor, and that time could have been another goal for Ponaganset. It's happened several times on the occasion tonight. Costa pushes it to the top shelf. Amaral takes it away, and it bounces off of Costa's skates. Chieftains keep it on side. Steinkamp trying to cut it to the middle. Gets some help off of Goff, and still in play as Rebello gives it back to him. Wound up for Amaral. Off of Goff. Couldn't get it off the one-timer. Back at Goff. Deflected behind the cage. Trying to take it back to the far angle. Steinkamp on it. Backhands it the opposite way. It's poked back to him. And getting tied up are a couple of players as this one's finally pushed back to the neutral zone before the Chieftains dump it right back in at Goff. Under 10 minutes to go now. Lincoln looking to seize any type of opportunity, and no whistle there as two players collided. Great job by Wood to stop it down with the glove, but there was nobody there. Wood slow to get up as the Chieftains continue another attack. Varesco on the back end, behind the cage of Goff. Still in play right in front of Goff, and it's pushed back to the blue line. Kept in the zone by Bauman. Bauman tripped, no arm up. No penalty to be charged. And Ponaganset's in an uproar. And we finally get the arm up and the whistle. Lincoln's side of the ice actually is the one with that large uproar. It's a big student body from them tonight. And this one's going to go against Ponaganset. That time it's the 5 of Gunnar Bauman hitting the penalty box. And the 3 of Derek Wood. Quarterfinal matchups on Fans Only Sports Network are brought to you in part by Ray's Hockey Shop in Smithfield. Specializing in uniforms and custom team apparel, all done in-house in Smithfield, Rhode Island. Call 401-231-1995 or go to ray@rayshockey.com for all your hockey needs. Premier Homes Realty in Cranston, Rhode Island. Stephanie Socia has been in the business for 20 years, a broker, owner, and a certified real estate appraiser. Spanish speaking and covers Massachusetts properties as well. Questions? Call 401-742-8971. Off of Kavanaugh. as it's poked back to the near side. And then by our elite recruits. Go to oureliterecruits.com to get access to 3,000 schools and 60,000 coaches in NCAA sports, as well as club hockey and prep academy coaches too. Fill out an athlete submission form today at oureliterecruits.com. At the top shelf, this one pushed off the back end board, taken behind the cage. On the near side, a whole lot of pushing and shoving. Lincoln trying to do everything it can to get one goal on the board, or else they're going to have to consider pulling Nate Goff at center. Puck pushed back and forth on the neutral floor. And flipped to center, and a little bit of a lead that time for Kavanaugh, trying to gain it on Tillinson. On the near side, scooped up by Almeida. Almeida trying to push off Caramente, and here comes Hall, getting tied up. And this one coming all the way back down. Wrapped around to the near side, off the skate of Popovich. Wild Goose, a check there. And the Chieftains, 3 times they set it up, and neither Wild Goose nor Caramente could find the back of the net. And delayed penalty. It's going to be called against Ponaganset. Goff coming out of the net as we await for a Chieftain to touch it. Chieftains won't even let the puck get touched. The time's just running out, but they finally get the stoppage. Seven and a half to go here in the third. Ponaganset can hold on for just a little bit longer. They will win the series tonight and punch their ticket to the state semifinals, but not a good start as they send the 11 of Mason Caramente. And it looks like the 77? No, it's just going to be Caramente hitting the box. So Lincoln gets the power play it needs to bring the score within 1. Still have plenty of time to do it. The question is, can they? Off the face-off. Pretty rhetorical question, I might say. Taken away at the blue line through center, and Ponaganset can't take it away, but they do clear it. Tillison. Carter Tillison. The lead all the way off the back end board for Borski, and it's too far ahead. And Lincoln will see this puck get cleared again. Rebello. Jack Rebello. Cuts it to the middle lane with good swifty movement. Rebello through the center lane onside into the glove of Kavanaugh to make the save. 1:23 to go on the power play and 6:53 remaining in regulation as the Chieftains lead the Lions here in the late half of the third period. So there's another man in the penalty box now for Ponaganset. It's the 13 of Austin Keeney. And it's going to be 5-on-4 for the next minute and 23 in favor of Lincoln. Borski trying to lead in front and wide of the net that time for Almeida. And trying to cut the puck towards the middle of the zone. A good pass, but the Chieftains do their job to clear it on the PK. Wood. And whistle. We have a Lion down. It appears to be the 11 of Tyler Almeida. And he's really shaken up. We'll step aside for an injury timeout. Score 5-3 as Ponaganset leads it in the late minutes of the third period. Back in just a moment.
In, and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
In and oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Gonna try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score!
And being helped off the ice there. The 11 of Tyler Almeida brought to the bench. He is in a lot of pain right now. Tensions are definitely high now after that injury. Of course, Lincoln calling for a dirty hit. And it's just been a tough go of things tonight. So another penalty being assessed to Ponaganset. It'll be 5-on-3. Kavanaugh gloves up the first shot. Referees doing their best to keep the rest of this game clean, as it's just been a really tough night. A long one for that matter. On the near side, Wood off of Kavanaugh, keeps it in play, and Chieftains, they'll manage to clear that puck all the way back down onto the Lincoln side of the ice. Lions will try again. Varesco takes it all the way around, giving it off to Kent, or excuse me, Borski. Borski crossing the blue line. Borski under 10 seconds on that first penalty, and it'll be back to 5-on-4. Tilson takes this one underneath. Kavanaugh with the stop. 5 seconds to go on the first penalty, and another minute and 4 on the second. Chieftains are doing everything they can to hold on to this lead. And the whistle to start things off. Wind up from Tilson. This one off the far side board. Trying to cut it to the right winger. And Hall wasn't set in prime positioning. going all the way down after it. Will Kavanaugh, trying to get the setup to Steinkamp, and it bounced off the net. First penalty already came to a conclusion. We're under 45 seconds on the second. This one winded up off of Kavanaugh to the near side. Jake Kai takes the chance, and it's dumped all the way back down. Another clear for Ponaganset. Under 30 seconds to go on the power play. Tilson, one last push as he gives it to Kai. And not a good look. It's dumped back in by Kavanaugh. Ponaganset, when they've been on, they've been on. Despite giving up 3 goals, they've just been able to hold on and maintain a very solid lead. Cutting it to the middle lane, trying to push it into the zone as Hall dumps it in. And this one off of Kavanaugh to the near side. And coming downhill, that time Wood has the puck pushed away. And onto the near side, Hall. Coming right in front of Kavanaugh. And it's coming back to the blue line. Puck spinning all over the place. Somehow, Jack Rabello came right underneath. Smith with the Shepherd. The dump up to Costa. Costa trying to cut it to the middle lane. He's pushed to the floor on the open ice. And they'll come back through center. And this one shuffled into the far end corner that time for DiStefano. Off that time for Tilson. Now back to him. DiStefano tried to lead it for Pelosi. It's a little ahead as Millette gets on top of it. Losing the footing behind the net as he collides with the board. And now Almeida. This one off the glass. Kicked in by Lincoln, but he'll take it away himself. Caramente winds up. This one off the back end. Onto the far side for Costa. Stopped by Wild Goose in the zone. Trying to get it sack off. Sticks it away cleanly as Caramente nearly found the back. Millette with a hard open ice hit that time on Pelosi. And this one back to the neutral floor. Dumped through and then into the zone. On the near side, puck being pushed back and forth. Taken through by Kai. This one way over the top of the net. Hard slam into the board and a Lion down again. Very slow to get up. We're going to get another whistle as Costa was the one pushed into the board. We'll face off at center with 2:33 to go. And Ponaganset calls a timeout with 2:33. They lead 5-3 over Lincoln as we take a timeout. And we'll see the remaining minutes chip away from this one. Only one will advance to the state semifinals, and we'll see who it is in just a moment.
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Dumps it in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
The handball shot off the post, score!
Let's try a kick, goes in!
Taken away on a stretcher, shot, score! Cornell down the field, end zone! That is a touchdown!
And oh, the ball's loose. He'll cough it back up, and he'll get across for the touchdown.
Rodriguez rolls out to his right, throws it back in the end zone, intercepted in the back of the end zone.
Dumps it in, fires, deflected, no, rebound, score!
2:33 to go following the Chieftains timeout as they lead 5-3 And if they can hang on for just a little bit longer, they will find themselves heading to the state semifinals this upcoming weekend against Rogers. And we're back underway at center. Being pushed up ice by Scott. Entering the zone and rifled off of Goff as Bauman sent a missile down. And given off in time for Tilson. Tilson being pushed a whole bunch by Steinkamp. Borski. Borski feeds it to center and right through the wickets of Kai. And it's dumped back to center ice one more time. Past Borski. Great lead for Richard Scott. Goff makes the tough save as this one hurdles through the air. Another one came down from Steinkamp behind the net. And we got a hand up. We got a penalty coming. And Ponaganset going to be the culprit. So this penalty is going to last for the remainder of the game. And we got another skater down. Carter Tilson on the floor. And it looks like Tilson's just going to be taken out of the game. Or it looks like he'll be able to stay on. And still waiting for and the face-off. Back to the near side. All the way back to center. Not much time for Costa. Goff pulled from the net. And it's 6-on-4. As Goff is pulled in favor to try and get a goal back for Lincoln. Ponaganset trying to take the puck away. Puck dangling in the slot for longer than expected, and it's pushed to the near side. And it's dumped all the way back down the other way. And there to meet it first is Rebello, mishandling the puck. Rebello trying to bring it around. He got too much momentum on it. Steinkamp with the takeaway now. It's pushed right towards the net with under a minute to go. Cut all the way back to center. Borski pushed hard right out in front of the open ice. Trying to find the lane. Kavanaugh wisely putting the glove down. And some late pushing and shoving following the end of the play. Chieftains killed time by nearly trying to hit an empty netter on the line side of the ice. More likely than not, if Lincoln even can find a goal in the remaining 44 seconds, the Chieftains should be able to hold on and push themselves into a semifinals playoff berth. At the top shelf, this one coming down, and it'll be propelled over to the near side. And trying to push one in front, getting a little tied up, and puck pushed to the far end. That time Wood. Puck in the open lane. Wood knocks to the floor. Puck taken away, that center by Rebello. Wide of the net somehow. And it still gets poked in. Jack Rebello hits the empty netter. And that should all but do it, as Jack Rebello came right into the zone cleanly. Makes the score 6-3. So now the playoff picture for Division II is complete. Portsmouth will host Narragansett-Chariho Co-op, and Ponaganset will face off against the number 2 seed Rogers in the 2022-2023 RIIL postseason tournament here for Division II. It was a thrilling game throughout. Officials still talking things over. They push Jack Rebello to the box. The box is already filled with several players. If you're the Chieftains at this point, you can't let this many penalties happen against a team such as Rogers or Portsmouth for that matter, if they can make it on, if either of those teams can make it on. But like I said, good hockey teams usually can capitalize off of power plays and penalize players. This Ponaganset crowd getting really loud and rowdy as they're excited to push themselves off to the semifinals. And off the face-off, Lions will take it up. It's pushed back, and we do get a whistle. And we got a player ejected off of Lincoln. It's going to be the 15 of Nick Pelosi. His night's over with not much time to go. The scoreboard's already been turned off. And with tensions this high, surprised they haven't ended the game. The clock's run out, and that'll do it. Ponaganset. And a fight to end the game. Oh my goodness. The tensions rose to become too much, and all players are going at it now on the floor. The tensions were high from start to finish. What an ugly way to end this game off. Wow. There will definitely be no handshakes here. And it's very tough for me to say much, ladies and gentlemen. Besides what we just witnessed here was just complete, utter, just unsportsmanlike, just from both teams at the end. It was just tough to really watch it all. But this game was a hard-fought one of blood, sweat, and tears. And we just saw that happen tonight here on the ice. But to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen, Ponaganset moves on to face Rogers and completes the Division II playoff picture for this year's 2022-2023 RIIL Interscholastic League playoff season here for Division II hockey. That does it for us here on Fans Only Sports Network, our last hockey game of the year, or at least of this season. Noah Robert on camera tonight. I'm Chris Hetu. What a way to end it off. We'll catch you all next year right here on Fans Only Sports